So, this is a topic that's really weird and interesting. Basically, this is about the wage gap, but in a very different way porn. If any of you have seen my video, Men Are More Oppressed Than Women, go to my channel and watch it. I gave myself a challenge in the video because I had heard the challenge from someone else at the time I made the video. And the challenge was that to find one piece of oppression in modern day in the first world that women actually face. And in my video, I said being degraded in porn. A couple people were actually against me saying that no, women are not degraded in porn, just an individual woman is, but she also gives consent and she's paid for it, and therefore she's not really oppressed in that regard. However, I still stick by what I said. I do believe that the only oppression women actually face is degradation in porn. I do believe that, and I will prove it in this video. Now, one of the main reasons I'm making this is because I actually find it funny. As we all know, feminists believe that the wage gap is real. Now, I don't need to debunk the wage gap. It's already been debunked a million times. Everyone knows that the wage gap is entirely based on personal choices and the amount of hours you work, and not because of just being a woman or being a man. It has nothing to do with discrimination or gender. It's strictly based on hours, position you are working, what the job is, holidays, overtime, all that kind of crap. And it's all based on averages. If you actually look at two people working in one exact same job, the wage gap completely disappears. So anyway, the point is, feminists, however, also say that the only job where women are paid equally is porn. And the funny thing is, the opposite is true. The opposite is true. Women are paid equally across the board. In fact, the only place where they're not paid equally is porn. So the opposite, of course, of what feminists think is actually the truth. Now, I found a lot of articles talking about porn and how women are paid more and all this kind of shit. But the thing is, because women deal with so much more in the porn industry, even though they're paid more at face value, they are actually technically getting less than men. And we're going to read this article to prove it, because this guy here breaks it down actually pretty well. Is there a wage gap between men and women in porn? Yes and no. I'll give you a scenario. You're shooting a straightforward boy-girl porn scene and have hired two performers, A and B. Performer A is female, performer B is male. When it comes to pay for the scene, performer A, the female, is going to be negotiating somewhere between $800 to $1,000. Performer B, the man, would be somewhere around $500 to the $600 mark. So far, it seems pretty disproportionately in favor of performer A, right? Performer A gets $900, performer B gets $550. So we're going to stop here for a minute and just point out that yes, at face value, which is what most people are able to look at because they're stupid, the woman will get paid more for her scene because she deals with more. But if you look under the surface of everything she deals with, she's not really paid more in the end. Now, before I continue reading, I'm going to just read you a message that I wrote to a friend, because a friend of mine and myself, we were talking about this before, if women are really paid more or are they paid less. And of course we point out that women are paid more, and I wrote a long message saying, yeah, but women deal with the following things, and here they are. I wrote, women do more work. They have to pay for hair and makeup before the scene. They have to wear all kinds of lingerie. They have to come into the porn shoots hours earlier than the men do to do the hair, the makeup, the photo shoots, the pictures. They contort into many difficult and uncomfortable sex positions. They have to act more in the scene by moaning and doing dirty talk. They rarely get to orgasm. And they end up a mess after the shoot because they take, cum facials and get messy and all that kinds of crap. All men do is stand there and do nothing. Even with women being paid more, I genuinely still believe women are underpaid. So again, to summarize, and if you watch the average porn, I'm not talking about, certain types of porn. I'm talking about just the average vanilla porn video that you watch on Pornhub. Women are dealing with all these things. They have to get the hair and makeup done. They deal with more things in the scene, like they have to do more physical, complicated things. They get all messy after sitting in a hair and makeup chair for hours by taking, the cum facial at the end of the scene, which of course involves a woman having to shower after. The man, however, what do most men do in most porn videos you watch? He either stands up, sits down, or lays down, barely moves while the woman does most of the work. He fucks her. He doesn't have to do any acting. He doesn't have to do any dirty talk. He doesn't have to do anything. The man just stays silent and does the scene, and that's it. The men in porn do next to nothing. So when you take all the factors of all the things that women have to do in porn that men don't have to do, for the acting, the dirty talk, the hair and makeup, the getting messy, the complex positions, being the face of porn, the fact that they're paid more kind of disappears because they're doing a lot more. With that out of the way, let's continue reading what this guy says here. To an extent, you could argue that this is quite right, as Performer A is really the whole reason that people will likely buy your scene or pirate it, but that's another irritating matter. And that's true. So, he's pointing out that, yes, Performer A, the girl, should get paid more because she's the whole scene. The thing is, in porn, men don't really mean anything. Men are just there because they need to be. The whole point that people will watch porn is for the girl. What she looks like, what she's doing, etc. She's the face of porn. Which is why in most porn videos, you barely even see the man's face in a lot of them. You see the woman's face. She's what you want to see, right? So because she's the face of it, she's going to be paid more money. But that doesn't matter in the end. We'll keep reading. What also needs to be taken into account is that Performer A, the girl, has probably spent a lot of time on myriad hair and beauty treatments to compete for the role with the huge number of other female performers, been on set around 2 or 3 hours or so before the men for makeup, hairstyling, still shots, pretty girl shots is a term used in our house, etc. Performer B would, and I'll use my own experience and work ethic here, get the exact same testing done as Performer A, so the 170 STD shots, shower and shave that morning. So all the men have to do is shower and shave that morning. They don't have to come in hours early. So let's expand on that point a little bit. Not only does the woman have to pay out of her own pocket for the hair and makeup, but she also has to go to the scene 2 to 3 hours early to get that done, which means that technically she's on set. Her shift is longer. Yes, all she's doing is sitting down in the chair and getting her hair and makeup done, but the point is, she's on set for 2 to 3 hours longer than the man is and getting paid the same amount of money. And I say same because of the other factors. You'll see what I mean soon. So continuing on, the men just have to shower and shave, 2 seconds thing. They arrive on set just 10 minutes before the scene, not 2 to 3 hours, before the time specified in the call sheet to ensure that I can get my paperwork completed. Drink coffee and or water while I talk with the director or DP, the director of photography, about any requirements for the scene, have a chat with the girl for her particulars, do's and don'ts. And that's another thing, again, in this right here proves that women are the ones that deal with everything, because the man, the male performer has to be like, okay, so what are you okay with me doing and not doing? Can I completely mess up your makeup? Can I give you anal and cause you pain? But again, none of it is negative for him. It's always negative for the girl. Shoot the scene. There may be additional B/G stills both before and after the scene. It varies. Get my check and go home. If there's a shower available, I'll use it before I leave. In the overall scheme of things, Performer A has done more work on and off set and has more out-of-pocket expenses than the male. So there really isn't a pay gap at all. So there you go. You understand. So here's the whole summary. The woman will be paid more cash. But because she deals with more than him, what they're saying is that in the end, there's no pay gap because the extra money that the woman has gotten covers for the fact that she's there longer, for the hair and makeup and all that stuff. But that's my point. That proves that she's underpaid. Because when you take away the extra money she got for hair, makeup, and her extra time on set, if they're being paid the same at that point, she's technically being underpaid because she dealt with more than him. Right? The extra money is already gone. In this scenario, if you're taking it literally, the extra money she received is already gone because she spent it on hair and makeup and her additional time being on set early. So by that point, they're being paid the same. But the scene itself, she's dealing with more. She has more work to do, right? As I said, she's the one getting more messy. She's the one who has to shower after because she's probably a disaster after. She has to do all, like, the acting, the dirty talk, all this kind of stuff. She has to do the more, like, difficult sex positions that might be painful, but still getting paid the same because she had to pay for hair and makeup. So, that's what I mean that women are underpaid in porn. Women should be paid more in porn outside of the hair and makeup money. So basically what I'm saying is that if a male performer gets $500 and the female performer gets $1,000, that would be reasonable if $300 went to the hair and makeup, and then she got an extra $200 because of just how much more work she has to do. So in the end, she gets paid $700 because $300 went to hair and makeup, and he gets $500. So therefore, her $300 is gone to hair and makeup, but an extra $200 for the extra work she did. So she should actually get $1,000 to his $500. So again, I am completely against feminism. Anybody knows that. I've made videos proving that men are more oppressed than women are. However, I made a point that women are degraded in porn and are oppressed by that. When it comes to porn, women are not paid equally simply because they deal with more. Yes, the cash itself is exactly the same, but if she's doing more work, she should obviously get more money. And again, to reiterate, the extra money she gets for hair and makeup does not count as her extra money because she's forced to spend it on hair and makeup anyway. If she was given extra money and they said, oh, don't worry, you don't have to pay for hair and makeup, that money is yours in your pocket, that would make more sense. But you can't really count her extra hair and makeup money if she has to spend it for the scene anyway. Because at the end of the day, the hair and makeup is not for her. It's for the camera, and that money is not in her pocket, and she has to come to work early for it as well. So to say that the extra money for hair and makeup is the extra money she gets is completely unfair because she doesn't get to pocket it anyway. It has to be used on hair and makeup. So that is your proof that women are oppressed in porn even if they're paid more.